Now
Mhm.
recording.
No, I don't think the actual character model in Cursed City, I don't think that's um like the model in the Cursed City board game, I don't think that's the characters from the actual book.
In the Cursed City
Unless
board
there's-
game, like characters, are they like actual models? Like, can they be used in an actual game of AOS?
Oh yeah, no. A lot of the Cursed City, their
Probably.
vampires are a specific dynasty in the game.
Yeah,
that's
like,
cool.
Yeah,
lords.
Cursed City is hang on. Let me see if I can find
I'm not gonna lie. Every single time Craig pops up and like says his thing, I like kind of shit myself.
It's very uncomfortable. Like,
It's just like the hum to his voice. He's just like, yeah,
yeah.
exterminate.
Okay, well,
Where
as
the
we do
hell?
this, everybody, welcome. I am one
Hi,
of your
everybody.
hosts. I'm one of your hosts, Mitchell.
I am the Jacob,
Hi, hello, how are you? I'm Phil.
and we are late.
Life kind of happens.
Yeah, this episode was supposed to happen last weekend, and then it was supposed to happen this weekend. Now it's happening now because like shit's
On a
been
Tuesday.
whack.
On a Tuesday. Dude.
Yeah.
What is
Dude,
it?
it's-
Okay, no, so that is Imelda Brazkov, but that is like 120% not what she looks like as described in the book.
Oh, okay.
Trying to think
And
of the meme.
then-
What is it? Double cheeked up on a Tuesday night or something?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's okay. I actually don't vibe with that. So the topic of tonight's episode, well, I say tonight because we're recording.
Spanish
tonight.
Inquisition.
The topic of this episode is going to be the Order of Azyr, aka the Witch Hunters.
Mainly, we're
And-
focusing on witch hunters.
Well, we say witch hunters, but like
Which
Yeah.
it's also going to be vampire hunters because they do
everything.
both. But
Listen.
no, so as part of my research for this, I ended up reading The Cursed City, which honestly, I really enjoyed that book. That was a really good book. But I'm now looking at the models for the Cursed City board game, and like only one of the characters, Imelda Brazkov, from the book, made it onto the tabletop game, and she does not look like how she should, because she's covered in like sigils of the twin-tailed comet. She kind of doesn't vibe with Sigmar.
That
Oh,
sounds like heresy.
is she the
That
one
sounds like
with
heresy
the
to me.
Griffhound head on her?
Yeah, no. So that's the thing, is that Imelda Brazkov is supposed to be. So first of all, she's not a witch hunter or vampire hunter or period. She is not a member of the Order of Azyr. She is a noble from Shaiish. She worships Nagash because she is from Shaiish.
Still sounds like heresy to me.
This really
And
does sound
she
like heresy
ends
to
up-
me.
She ends up teaming up with a vampire hunter whose name I'm totally gonna blank on right now. I really should know this. But she ends up teaming up with a vampire hunter, and together they're trying to kill the vampire who has taken over Ulfenkarn.
Which is Cursed City.
Yeah, that is the titular Cursed City. Specifically, they're attempting to kill Radukar the Wolf. So Radukar the Wolf is a monstrously powerful vampire, and he belongs to the bloodline of vampires that can turn people into. Sorry, God,
Oh my
something
gosh.
is like biting me today. But no, he belongs to the line of vampires that can still turn people into Vargeists.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like there's at the climax of the book, he turns someone into a Vargeist, and they have to fight him, and it's really good. But no, Radukar the Wolf is an absolutely monstrous and diabolical vampire. He's taken the city of Ulfenkarn and turned it into an absolute fucking basically
Is that the
slaughter shed
Vipers
for humans.
dynasty?
The what?
No, Avangori, right?
No,
Cursed Mutations, Avangori.
maybe.
Yeah, I do think
No,
it's
I
going
don't
to be.
think it's Avangori. I can't remember though. Okay, so the issue is that I didn't read this. I listened to it on audiobook. So like if I heard it, I would recognize it, but just reading it, I'm probably not going to recognize it, and I don't think it was Avangori. Let me pull up My notes that I totally have that isn't the internet.
No, it's Vikros. It's Vikros Dynasty.
That sounds right. That sounds
Yeah.
right.
Well, all of that aside, let's go ahead and get through a couple of announcements and things like that before we jump into it, because there's gonna be plenty of time for all of that. First of all,
Yes.
just want to give a shout out to the Patreon. You guys are fucking awesome, and we are also going to shout out a couple new members. I think we have two. Mitchell,
Two new
Two of them?
members. We have
Close.
Big Boy Tim.
Big boy Tim.
Big
then,
boy.
Chunk.
We actually met him out at LVO. He was really cool.
Yeah,
Cool guy.
super cool guy.
Yeah.
And then
Not
Chunk.
Chunk. We haven't met Chunk. We met Big Boy Tim.
It's just Chunk.
Yes, that's all.
Okay,
it says.
so
Cool.
that name is now Lord Chungus for me.
Okay.
Lord Chungus.
Also kind of going through the whole entire thing. So currently, we may sound a little different. This is also weird on our end because this is our first official episode. That's not a bonus episode that we're not even seeing each other. Like, I can turn on my webcam. Would that make y'all feel more comfortable?
We are currently
No.
speaking through the interwebs. Ooh. Technology.
Yeah.
Oh man, Mitchell, no, turn it off. I don't want to see your fucking ugly ass face. To get that
Oh,
shit
God
off.
damn.
Get that shit
Okay.
off. No, I'm lying. Come back. I love you.
Okay. So
yeah, but yeah, we're on Discord right now, and just because we are officially going, correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to be going back to the twice a month schedule, and to make it a little easier on us, so we still can have like some semblance of a life, we're going to be doing one face to face and then one over Discord a month. So that's going to mean we can still, be face to face and do all that good shenanigans, but we could also have more guests and things like that on, because Discord makes that a little easier. We've gotten the mic situation figured out, because I had a POS mic that was like screeching at people, so like that's been fixed.
Yay.
And so hopefully this will let us expand a little bit, talk with some more cool people, and start having some more guests and things like that. Yeah,
stepping stones.
yes, very
Big
very
stepping
important.
stones. Okay. Other than that, Order of Azyr. Philip, would you like to continue your tangent?
Maybe. I just
This-
realized I should probably
The
mute
silence.
my phone. What the fuck is blowing up my phone at the moment?
Well,
We're just gonna turn that on silent. All right, cool. So, vampire hunters. Man, I am okay. No, sorry. I'm trying to remember this fucking vampire hunter's name, and I cannot find it.
well, okay. How about this? How about this?
Oh my god, this is
Well-
frustrating.
While Phil tries to find some shit, let's go over a really brief description of kind of what the Order of Azyr is and when it was founded. So, to everyone who makes No One Expects the Spanish Inquisition jokes, or anyone who has ever done or read about the Inquisition from 40K, it's kind of that. The Order of Azyr.
A lot more tame.
Yeah,
Like, honest-
not near as bad.
Like Inquisition, like you look at them wrong and like exterminatus the planet. My book, the dwarves were beating the crap out of oh god damn, what her name? Oh my god, who the hell spells a
Okay.
name like that?
So while Mitchell unfucks his
Ralia?
shit.
Doralia Vendence. That's how I'm gonna pronounce that at the moment.
I'm sure someone in our
Lit her
server
hat
is
on
going to
fire.
re at us for saying it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It's so. They're a much more
Tolerant.
relatable and human form of the actual Inquisition in 40K.
They're still not great, but they're not near as bad.
Well, it really depends why they like enter the service. There is a very wide range that you can become a witch hunter. Some people do it just to gain power. Other people do it because they want to make a difference. Other people do it because their parents actually, forced them into it. Like Delaria Vendenst and Galen Vendenst. Galen Vendenst being the father who forced her daughter to go into the service.
Sounds
So-
like some grade A parenting right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually a really big point in Hollowed Ground with those two, is like how the father completely regrets the idea of actually like getting his daughter to join the service. It's
Well,
one
yeah,
of
I can
one of his
imagine.
biggest regrets. And like when he tells his daughter that, like his daughter's having like a like this is the only life I've ever known since I was 9, and I had to kill my mom that got turned into a vampire. Like,
I mean, like, I get it, because realistically, if you're a witch hunter or a vampire hunter, like, chances of you living to a ripe old age are slim, because you're fighting chaos, you're fighting vampires, you're basically dealing with any enemy of Sigmar, and, like, that shit can get really, really whack really, really quick, so you're not exactly... The chance of you living a good, long life are slim. The chance of you dying in glorious battle are high, but also, like, you know, you still gotta die.
yeah, I think in the book of Hallowed Ground, the witch hunters go off a philosophy of it doesn't matter about surviving or the odds of survival; it's about the duty of doing it.
Like if I have to die to get it done, I'm at least gonna get it done. Like that's very much the mentality.
Like
Whatever it takes.
they give their life to the Order of Azyr, and that's the only life that they will probably ever know. Because once you really become a witch hunter, there is no way to you can retire or get kicked out, because there are cases of witch hunters actually being kicked out.
Hold on, like kicked out because they've gone too far, like they had some 40k critman energy and they killed too many people, or like kicked out because they're just not good enough, or
there is a it really depends on the situation. I know there is a witch hunter that was a spy for Neferata. I'm not sure of the entire background of that, but he got kicked out of the Order of Azyr, but now he just continues to hunt vampires. Like, it's really weird to be a spy for Neferata, who's, you know, the mother of all vampires, and sit there and go and be like, I'm going to go kill some vampires now.
Well, I'm sure Neferata doesn't like all of her kids.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, I feel like a fair amount of the kids that, like, she didn't even really care about. Yeah, exactly.
But real quick, just for a quick tidbit before we continue, to all those who don't know already, so the Order of Azyr was founded in the Age of Chaos, actually, whenever Sigmar shut the gates to Azyr, because, like, shit was super fucking whack. That's when he founded the Order of Azyr, and he was like, yeah, your job right now is to clear out all taints of chaos and death, also known as Nagash, vampires and whatnot. Get that the fuck out of my realm and keep that shit out so I can do my work unabated and not and you know, that's y'all's job, is to keep the realm.
Orcs. Hang on, I'm gonna mute myself real quick. I'll be back in a few seconds.
You're good.
Okay.
But yeah, you need to keep the realm pure and clean while I do my glorious work, which was, you know, Stormcast Eternals. And the cool thing is that whenever he made this order, the Order of Azyr, he was very much like, you answer to me and to me alone. There is no higher authority than the Order of Azyr besides Sigmar himself. Like, to that point, they could even fuck with, like, Stormcast Eternals, kind of, if they felt the need. But they can very much walk up in a free city, go to the leader and be like, we have reason to believe that you're a Chaos Worshipper or a follower of death, and they could just kidnap him, kill him, fucking do whatever, and no one can say anything. Yeah. They are the supreme authority.
What they do is for, like, the actual good of the realm. It's not just sitting there going, like, willy-nilly, of just like, hey, look at that, you are a vampire, like, with no evidence, I'm just gonna pop you in the head or burn you at the stake. Like, a lot of people who are like, because there are many cases of false witch hunters that will go into a town out in the boondocks of just going like, I don't ever expect a witch hunter.
I fucking got his name.
Okay, share.
Gustav Voss. Holy Jesus, it should not be that fucking hard to find the name of one goddamn vampire hunter. Yeah, no, I had to go to my Audible. Oh shit, I didn't mean to close that. Oh well.
You know what?
I had to go to my Audible library and go restart the book because I knew they said his name in the first like 5 minutes of the first chapter. And I was like, I'm fucking tired of this shit.
You know what? It kind of makes sense. I went to
the Black Library website, and the Black Library website, I was like, okay, cool. Surely they'll have his name in the synopsis. And they're just like, a witch hunter from Carlinia. And I'm like, is that really? Okay. Really?
Can we go on a completely different tangent about how, like, as we go on in this podcast, it becomes increasingly more difficult to find information.
Yeah, no, this is gonna
Well,
be
hold on. I have a whole thing. I
interesting.
have a whole fucking thing on that though, because like I was saying, it kind of makes sense that
Yeah.
information is hard to find on the Order of Azyr because the Black Library writers for 40K and the writers for Age of Sigmar and whatnot, they've always tried to reflect the setting that they write in, and that's why 40K books can be really fucking whack sometimes, because in the 40K setting it's really, really hard to get accurate, timely information because of warp storms and distance and bureaucracy and things like that. And so I kind of feel like, since the Order of Azyr is kind of like Sigmar's CIA, it kind of makes sense that there's not a whole bunch of willy-nilly info out there, because it realistically, like, you don't want someone to know where all your shit is and could possibly fuck it up. So, like, while it is an absolute bitch, and trust me, it was a bitch, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Also, that's kind of one of the reasons why we started this podcast, is make the information more easily available. But oh my gosh, I was not expecting nobody actually going and like, you would have to go through a whole lot of like different forms and actually just read the books as well, because a lot of the information I'm getting from the Order of Azyr is just from Hallowed Ground and just the simple conversations that they're having. Because there's an instance going back to the whole like Witch Hunter and now on the Boondocks, where it is a person who just wanted to hold power dressed up as a witch hunter. People out there never seen a witch hunter in the world, and they just goes, yeah, I'm a witch hunter. That person's a vampire. So we're going to, and these people died. So we're going to just, burn them at the stake. Not knowing actually how to get rid of a vampire, because there is a specific way you have to kill a vampire.
Yes, and the Order of Azyr is very, very protective of their secrets.
Yeah. No, there is definitely they have cultivated a very thick wall of mystery around their order, which it does make sense, and it's very much a thing where you pick up information about the Order of Azyr not because you're directly reading about it, but through the side conversations and like the books you read and the battle tomes you read and the core books and whatnot, and they never really outright talk about things for the Order of Azyr, but it's always the side stuff. And if you pay attention, you can learn a lot. But it's very spread out too. Like, you have to read a lot. Like, all of the Gotrek books basically have shit about the Order of Azyr because of Malineth Witchblade, because she worked for the Order of Azyr, and
so
Yeah. The other big thing to note is that a lot of times people see witch hunters and the Order of Azyr as synonymous. If you go and look up Order of Azyr and witch hunters, you'll find basically the exact same information. What almost nobody actually talks about is the fact that technically vampire hunters are also Order of Azyr, but there is like no fucking information on vampire hunters.
So
isn't it kind of like all vampire hunters are also witch hunters, but also all witch hunters are kind of vampire hunters, but they're also different, but they're not really different.
Kind of.
The
So
same.
it has to do with their training, if we're ready to get into that.
Well, I was going to probably go over, because isn't this episode specifically just witch hunters?
I think it's just kind of more Order of Azyr in general, just kind of like all facets.
Okay, because there is because we were about to go over vampire hunters, because why am I forgetting her? The daughter of Cain and the
Malineth Witchblade.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's Witchblade. I know her first name's Malineth, but I think it's Witchblade.
She is a direct person that answers to the Order of Azyr. But she a spy. She just like an agent. Then you have in the Hallowed Dark Harvest book, there's an on-running joke about the guy who actually, there's a guy in there that goes, I'm not a witch hunter, I am a spy for the Order of Azyr. It's like an ongoing joke in that.
Yes, you're right. It's Malineth Witchblade.
There are a lot of different aspects to the Order of Azyr that we just do not have a whole lot of information on, because it's just not provided.
Well, yeah, and also like from surface level, they kind of seem like they're all the same, but they're not really. But they keep that well guarded.
Yeah. And so like the most information we really do have is really just witch hunters and sidebar of vampire hunter, which is a witch hunter that's just a little more specialized in killing a vampire.
I do have a quick question though. I forget, like, so like the zealots or like the flagellants, or I think they're just called the devoted. They're like flagellants. are they like technically part of the Order of Azyr, or are they just like, yes, we believe in Sigmar and we're like his, and we spread his word, and like the Order of Azyr just kind of like piggybacks with them because they're like kind of usable pawns for their shenanigans.
I will definitely say it's probably more of like they just use them as pawns. Those zealots are probably part of the cult of Sigmar, if that's really still a thing.
But not necessarily the actual
the
order.
cult of Sigmar should be an actual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're called the Devoted of Sigmar.
Yeah.
And they're so technically, witch hunters are also devoted of Sigmar. They're just devoted of Sigmar who are, intelligent.
not gonna throw themselves dick first into a minotaur because praise Sigmar.
Yeah. Okay. So shall we go into the entire process of witch hunter / vampire hunter?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, I don't know why I took the lead there. I don't know what to say here.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead. I'm going to start off like.
Oh my god.
It's so weird not seeing each other, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Dude, there's so many little like cues and ticks that we get from each other where we're all like look at someone and it's like, okay, cool, that person's going next, and we can't do that here.
Okay, Mitchell, turn on your face cam. It's starting to fuck with me. I keep looking left for you fuckers and I can't see you, and I'm like, I don't like it.
Face again. Look at me.
Yeah,
it's halfway covered up by a bike like
I'm not looking at you.
That's
I do not like your visage. I enjoy this much more.
that's some good shit. Yeah.
Let me take off my glasses. Here we go. Oh
my, how lewd.
How does somebody become part of how does somebody become a witch hunter or a vampire hunter?
Okay. Well, first let's talk a little bit about their history.
Okay.
So the Order of Azyr was founded after Sigmar closed off the gates of Azyr.
We've actually already gone over this. This very particular part. Whenever you were muted, I was talking about how when they were founded and why they were founded.
Bitches. Okay.
Get wrecked.
Sons of bitches. Okay.
So going back to actually how they become part of the
Order okay.
Witch hunter.
Accidental stolen thunder.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes earlier.
Well, I was gone for all of like 30 seconds. I didn't think you'd cover it.
The little second you dipped, I was like, well, while Phil's doing his shit, let's kind of go over like how they came to be and yada yada yada. And then like right as I finished, you hop back in.
Yeah, it was actually perfectly timed.
Nice.
So I believe there's a few ways to become part of like a witch hunter. I'm just going to use witch hunter from now on because
it's synonymous for both.
Yeah. Until we like specifically talk about vampire hunters, witch hunter is more or less synonymous.
Oh, so. and actually, just real quick,
this agent of the Order of Azyr. Yeah, we'll go with witch hunter.
Just like with the Skaven thing, how like there's so much more to Skaven lore, and we're gonna go do more episodes on it. That's very much gonna be a thing to do with the Order of Azyr, because like the information's so spread out, and they kind of have their fingers in so many pies, and there's so many different things they do. We're probably gonna revisit witch hunters to go a little more in depth, but because information is so scattered right now, we're definitely just gonna give kind of like brief overview of kind of
really
what they are and how they do.
It's all the information we could find at the moment. It's not even like the brief. It's just what
we all had a couple books to read. We're gonna have to read a lot more, but this is gonna give you a really just a decent idea of who they are, what they do, and kind of like the power they wield and things like that.
Yeah. So honestly, it's not very difficult to become a witch hunter. Number one, you can get your parent to induct you.
Because that's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
Believe in Sigmar.
Step 2, really hate chaos.
Step 3, really hate chaos.
Become
Step
friends.
4, be willing to die.
You'll shut up.
Step 5, annoy Mitchell.
Hey guys, this is an Age of Sigmar podcast.
We are talking about Age of Sigmar. Shut up.
Titans.
You can sit there and find a witch hunter because throughout the entire Hallowed Ground book, it is literally talking about like, hey, one person is like a captain of the guard, and Excelsis goes like, hey, I would like to become a witch hunter, and like Galen just goes, yeah, you have what it takes. You're a good person. I truly believe that. I would not curse you to this fate. No, you're not going to do this. You're just too good of a person, though. So, um,
Well, you're telling me all the witch hunters are like, oh man, you could do it. Fucking don't, but you can. But like,
yeah,
you,
pretty much.
You should, but you shouldn't. This sucks ass.
Yeah, pretty much. Or I guess you can do a formal application, become a witch hunter. I think it's way easier to just become friends with one. And
Just show someone who's already in the order
Yeah.
you have a willingness to die for Sigmar, essentially.
yeah, and also I believe another witch hunter can train a witch hunt a inductee through the entire process. I'm not even sure if like there's a full school for witch hunters. There probably is because it is the Order of Azyr. There's
I think there
probably a
is
complete
supposed to-
school.
Yeah,
But-
one thing that they kind of imply about the Order of Azyr is that while they are fairly loose, so the Order of Azyr is very similar in both structure and execution to the Inquisitors of 40K. They only answer to Sigmar exclusively, and like theoretically, they also answer to Stormcast Eternals because they're kind of the will of Sigmar. But in Curse City, what they talked about was he talked about the training he's received and the equipment he's been given by the Order. And so I would imagine that, and the equipment he gets is not just like, oh yeah, this is like really nicely crafted kit. No, he's like, this particular vampire hunter has kit that I'll go into later that you need an organization to be able to supply you with.
Yeah. So there's multiple ways in order to get to the point where you need to be. Now what those people carry, Philip, I'm going to take that as the beautiful segue that you can start that.
War gear.
War gear, yes.
So witch hunters in general are going to carry basically what marks a witch hunter. Their version of an inquisitorial rosette is they're going to carry tokens and
A super dope hat.
items.
A super dope hat.
Not always, but yes, quite. They do favor that particular like pilgrim style hat. But no, they'll carry some kind of sigil of Sigmar. They're going to carry some kind of mark, or like for instance, some people on their hat, their buckle will be a buckle that's shaped like a twin-tail comet. Others will carry a pendant around their neck in the shape of Sigmar's hammer, Gal Maraz. Things like that. These are things, and they're going to display these proudly. This is very prominent to them. This marks who they are and what they believe in. And every witch hunter or agent of the Order of Azyr, whatever they are, they're going to wear this proudly, with the exception of like spies and things like that, obviously. But
Yeah.
that's really the big thing, is if you see a guy walking around covered in fuck, what do you call them? I just said it. But like hammers and twin-tailed comets and things like that, and
Tokens
sigils.
and sigils, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe bet that this person's going to be a witch hunter.
You know, now that I think about it, like just real quick, I'm pretty sure the reason why all the witch hunters wear those dope ass hats is just because they're big and they can hide another gun underneath it.
That wouldn't
Possibly.
surprise me, to be perfectly
Oh,
frank.
also-
They're never not strapped.
They also all wear robes of some sort.
Yeah, well, I think that's more just like what's in style as opposed to an actual
Well,
like
no,
war gear.
because in Hollowed Ground, it specifically states the person who is impersonating being a actual witch hunter was wearing the actual garb, the robe that a witch hunter typically wears that easily can fool somebody. Like he looks the part,
Huh.
but he's playing the part badly.
Okay, so
Oh.
it's inferring that getting that particular garb isn't the easiest, and he either killed a witch hunter or found it off a dead witch hunter.
Or
Yeah,
had
oh.
someone make it for him who
Yes.
knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's again what I read was a vampire hunter, and they didn't go so much into like the exact details. They went into his kit because like his kit was very much relevant to the book, but it didn't go into so much like his style and his flair, so to speak.
Yeah.
But witch hunters, generally speaking, they're going to be heavily armed and armored. Whether this be just kind of good mail or leather, like heavy leather cloaks and things like that. But they
Plate
are very
mail
much
works
going
as
to.
well.
Huh?
Plate mail works as well.
Yeah, plate mail. You'll see a lot of people wearing pieces of plate, but the point is that these are not going to look like monks or things like that. These are going to look like people who are ready to throw hands with literally anyone at any time.
They're very distinctive.
My boy
Exactly.
Galen over here has a beautiful cod piece.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm
look
actually
at
looking
that.
at that photo. I'm looking at that photo right now.
Hold on, hold on. Let me see. Oh, it's
Mitchell, put
tasty.
your glasses back on.
I can't use. Why?
Why?
You're too Mitchell. You're revealing too much of yourself.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh
tasty.
God. Yeah, look at that cod piece. So glorious.
Anyway, the point is that colors. Red. Usually they wear a lot of red. Red is a very common color amongst witch hunters.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it is. I'd be willing to bet that their clothing has a very specific color palette to it. Like how in Rome, like there was a very particular shade of purple, and that was royal purple, and only the emperor and the emperor's family and bodyguards could wear that shade of purple.
Oh, so complete different tangent. At A&M, there are people who wear maroon blazers or maroon sport coats.
Yeah.
They are part of a specific organization that pretty much, I forget. They
They're basically there for to show people around, right?
Yeah,
Like
pretty much.
their whole shtick is basically like you can stop them at any time and ask them questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of remember that. It's really funny too because my grandfather gave me a blazer that's very similar. It's technically plaid, but it's a very fine plaid, and so at a distance, it looks exactly like these things,
Yeah.
exactly like these blazers. And so I've been tempted to go onto campus and just wear it around a couple days, and then people come up to me, they're like, "Oh, hey, can I ask you?" And I tell them to fuck off because fuck A&M. But no,
Oh man, oof.
bro, like it. I have very specific feelings about Texas A&M University, but let's not get
Oh,
into that.
Not even the
Oof.
matter, but we can fight later.
The duel shall commence at sundown.
Jacob,
But
I'm
yeah.
gonna need you to leave. Mom and Dad have to have a quick fight.
I can't be in my room.
But no, so that's kind of their style and their clothing. But when it comes to their weapons, again, it's gonna change from person to person depending on what they're good with. Some witch hunters prefer like straight swords, like two-handed bastard swords and things like that. Others prefer more cavalry sabers, not because they're on horseback. That's just what they prefer.
We got some Schwei
Again,
hunters.
once you become a witch hunter, what you actually bring with you is kind of left up to you. But one piece of or one special thing about every weapon that they have is that every rapier, sword, saber, everything that they carry with them is blessed. So whether that be just like a blessing that is set over it by a priest, or in some cases, the entire sword is crafted from blessed silver.
Is that for
Yeah.
like anti-vampire, anti-chaos, or both?
I'd
Yes.
say both. Yeah,
It's both.
it's
like
almost a
it's blessings of Sigmar. It's going to be anathema to anything that doesn't worship Sigmar. And also, even if you do worship Sigmar, 3 foot of steel in your gut is gonna fuck you up.
yeah. Also, they use pistols as well.
They're
Probably
one
have
of
blessed
the
bullets.
they're one of the few groups
Facts,
outside of
yes.
the Dawi that use firearms.
Cast gun,
Yeah.
consistently.
And
Just because
every-
they have the ability to use guns, it doesn't mean they're not going to use crossbolts as well, because they are
Yeah.
two different tools that can accomplish two different things.
Again, it all has to do with what the hunter themselves prefer. So some people get very baroque, very well crafted, but ultimately just like flintlock pistols. Some of them use like heavy caliber, large bore, almost like horse pistols and things like that. Pistols that are basically like, yeah, this is a pistol, but also this is designed to be used from horseback, and it's basically got the firepower of a rifle.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then other ones will use things like crossbows, because the cool thing about a crossbow is that a crossbow, not only can you have the tip blessed with silver, you can also have the shaft made from Akshi and firewood that will, in fact, kill a vampire, and it doesn't particularly matter where you hit them.
So actually, a really important thing about crossbows is that at the same time you can this is what Dorelia Vendence did. She actually went to Hish and she made the bolts herself, the heads of the bolts herself, and had them inscribed with runes. And when they hit a vampire, it literally sucks like all the strength and like burns them from the inside, because Hish being light, so it's burning them with light from the inside.
So basically, it's a very versatile weapon they could use to super fuck vampires or chaos or whatever.
Exactly.
Yes.
And with the thing with crossbows is that you can very easily mark out which arrows are which, so you can swap between your various different ammunition depending on what you're facing at the drop of a hat. Whereas with pistols, the vampire hunter Voss, that was a character in the book I read, he only ever carried two kinds of ammunition. He carried standard lead balls, and he carried blessed it didn't really go into detail, just mentioned it at one line because he had access to these things, but like he ended up losing a bunch of his kit at one point because he had to abandon his hideout, and so he was stuck with just normal lead balls. But the thing about it is that he had one of those high caliber or large caliber pistols, so he uses it and he shoots Radikar in the chest with it, and Radikar like goes ass over tits because there's so much power behind the shot.
Like, you may not be able to die, but you're not inertia proof, bitch.
Yeah, no, like he dumps this shot into Radikar, and Radikar goes flat on his ass and is like, oh fuck, my chest. And he had like actually, this is one of the most powerful vampires in existence, and he has to take it a second and go, oh fuck, what was that?
Yeah.
High velocity projectile, motherfucker.
Well, not necessarily high velocity, but definitely big.
I'm thinking about the weapons and whatnot, and the one thought I can't get out of my head is like when it comes to crossbows, doing all the dumb shit with the wood and the metal and whatnot is like, yes, you're very much going to be getting the tip and the shaft.
Oh yeah. So another important thing to note is that going into crossbows again, this is where really it starts to show that this is more than just a loose collection of people who are like, oh yeah, we worship Sigmar and we only answer to, and shows that they are a organized and oh shit, what's the word? They're organized and they are supported by an overarching design, because vampire hunters, every vampire hunter is issued a stake of Akshi and firewood. And what that is it's a very specific kind of wood that holds within it the fires of Akshi. And literally it's like, oh, hey, Mr. Vampire. So like, I realize you're immortal, and like normally stabbing you wouldn't do fuck all to you, but also like, yeah, bitch. And then they're basically set on fire from the inside out.
All I'm saying is burn on holy fire, bitch. Yeet.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you look at the picture I posted of Galen Vendence, he has 3 of those stakes on him. So
actually no, those are just normal stakes.
Normal
Because
stakes.
Akshi and firewood it's so potent that it has to be contained in a sealed bone reliquary.
Okay,
Like
so
they actually have to be specially transported.
These stakes, the way that he killed vampires in the book was actually like ripping out, like breaking ribs out of the chest and then slowly inserting the stake into the heart, like the non-beating heart.
Homie, that man's mustache is fire.
This man, a force to be reckoned with.
All I'm saying is
do
like,
not fuck with the Vendensts.
Yeah.
that mustache. He now that the model's out, that mustache, that receding hairline, he has Lionel Johnson energy.
Honestly, yes.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Another important thing to note is this has to do with their war gear. I don't know about witch hunters, but I know every vampire hunter, and I would imagine witch hunters too, is given a singular vial of an elixir that is distilled from draconid blood.
Oh,
Oh,
can you explain what that does?
horrible thing. though, I'm
Basically,
hoping.
oh no, the vampire hunter consumes it and basically becomes a Stormcast Eternal for like a couple hours.
Oh.
Increased strength, increased perception, dulling of pain, dulling of oh, what do you call it? But basically it makes them more alive. It makes them stronger, faster, not necessarily smarter, but they can think faster, and it just makes them more perceptive, and they can ignore almost all forms of pain. And it also strengthens their will against fear and things like that. Oh, that's what it is. It makes them immune to like fear and things like that.
I
That's
just
pretty
and-
fucking handy.
There's just-
we
Well,
really need
there's
to
a
do
reason why
Soulbound
they're
campaign on
only
this.
ever issued one of these. And the
I'm
reason
assuming
is
you
that
die after.
yeah, you basically become a Stormcast for like a couple hours, and then you promptly die like 8 hours later, 4 to 8 hours later.
I'm assuming it's just like the body can't take that. So once it's out, the body's just like, cool, we're like fucking wrecks. So like perish.
Yeah, no, you literally imbibe the strength of a dragon, and you become draconic for a short period of time, and then your body's like, oh man, that was rough. Pardon me, as all of our organs shut down.
So that's very much either a last resort thing or I have to kill you and I have to do this to kill you and I'm gonna die, but at least your ass gonna be dead.
Yeah. So Voss actually, spoilers ahead, by the way. Voss actually did this in his battle against Radukar, and Radukar still like wiped the floor with him. That's how monstrously powerful Radukar is.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Did they end up defeating Radukar? Or Radukar?
Fuck no.
No, he still has his model.
Yeah, no, there's a
Okay.
reason Voss does not have a model and Amelia does. Amelia
Is he dead?
and yeah, Voss fucking dies. What's his name? Radukar like rips his head off.
Fucking
Oh no,
oof.
no, he doesn't rip his head off. He crushes all of his limbs, drags him over to Amelia, and then snaps his neck in front of Amelia while gloating over the fact that his last effort was in vain. And Amelia, oh no, and then the
Savage.
the wizard that they're with, who's an amethyst wizard, channels the literal power of corn to possess an undead ogre. To possess an undead ogre. The undead ogre turns on Radukar, tries to kill him, and then in the confusion, the wizard and Amelia escape.
I feel like channeling chaos energy would like not be good for his body.
It helps that they were standing in the middle of the chaos shrine.
That would do it.
So
You
yeah,
know?
he didn't really have to do very much. He was just kind of like, "Hey, demons, you want to host?" And they were like, "Fuck yeah, we do." And he was like, "Cool, I'll make it easy for you to come over. Don't fuck with me." And they were like,
Him-
"All right."
This wizard sitting in a fucking chaos shrine. Well, when in Rome.
Yeah,
when in Rome,
basically.
possess dead people.
No, and
Yeah, God.
that's the other thing that kind of annoyed me about the Cursed City box set. That wizard isn't in it. And I was like, "But why
Okay,
though? He lived."
Is the Cursed City box set supposed to be a direct representation of the book, or is it more just the setting?
I think it's supposed to be a continuation.
So they just fucked it up.
Well, not really.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing about this wizard is that he kind of did his own thing. He was working with Amelia just because he thought that she could help him achieve his goals, but they really didn't vibe with each other. So I'm not actually surprised he's not in the box set.
Yeah. No, I
had a
believe the book is actually a
dope staff,
prequel
though.
to the board game.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry, what was that, Mitchell?
The book is a prequel to the board game.
Gotcha. That would make sense. Well, and actually something that I want to talk about really quick is something that I really, really enjoy about the witch hunters in the Order of Azyr, kind of in general, is also like the intelligence they use when it comes to doing tasks that are important but not necessarily important for them. Because something that the witch hunters will do is they also find lost realm gates. Sigmar will send out Stormcast to close down realm gates that are infested by chaos, so they can't like spew out demons, or if you like walk through them, you don't end up in fucking Nurgle's realm or something horrible like that.
Yeah.
But there's still plenty of realm gates that are just lost. So whenever the possible location of realm gates are revealed, the Order of Sigmar, they don't go themselves, but what they will do is that they'll hire adventurers and whatnot, and they'll be like, here, this is the location, I want you to go do this. And once they've established there actually is a realm gate there and whatnot, then they'll start sending out things to go like reactivate it and protect it and things like that. But they know like it's not fighting chaos, it's not killing vampires, but it's also important, so like we have our hand in that a little bit to make sure that we can reclaim those. But they don't let go themselves until, like it's been confirmed. So it's kind of like doing multiple things and whatnot, and I just found that to be kind of cool,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was drinking some agua.
Dude, hydro homie it up.
Yeah. But yeah, that book sounds really cool. I have to give that one a read. I was going through Tainted Heart.
Cursed City's a really good book. The first like 3/4 of it is kind of like crime mystery almost, because the backdrop is that so Voss is there hunting down another witch hunter who's gone missing. So Voss is a vampire hunter. He's operating in Shaiish because vampires.
There be vampires.
Yeah, exactly. And he hears about a witch hunter that's gone missing. So he's in Ulfric to try and hunt down this other witch hunter to offer assistance. And he just so happens to run into Amelia Braskov. And Amelia Braskov is the last surviving human of the Braskov household, who were the ruling family of Ulfric. And she's been on crusade for the past 10 years, comes back home and discovers that every single one of her family members is either dead or turned by fucking Radikar. Yeah.
I thought that Amelia was a vampire as well.
No, she's the last remaining non-vampire of her household.
So does that mean that the book just ends in utter failure for the protagonist? Is just the dude dies and they have to fuck off because the vampire's gonna murder them all?
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah. Oh, but by the way, at the end of the book, Amelia ends up sharing a cell with the witch hunter that Voss was looking for.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oof. I mean, yay, but
kind of
oof.
the funny thing. What is his name?
I believe in you.
We're just gonna... I'm actually pretty sure that the witch hunter you see in the Cursed City box is the witch hunter that they were hunting for. I think his name's the one in the box is Jelson Darroch, and I'm pretty sure that's the one they were looking for. Yeah, part of the Order of Azyr. Yeah.
Why was he in a cell? Why was he locked up?
So
this has nothing to do with the witch hunter. I'm just curious.
In Shaiish, in general, worship of Sigmar is outlawed. Because,
gotcha.
Nagash. So,
no, yeah, that tracks.
And what did we say about the Order of Azyr? They're going to brandish their faith openly and brazenly.
Yeah, so he was.
So he basically shows up and is like, "Hey, by the way, I love Sigmar," and Radikar is like, "Cool, fucking rot in a cell.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me."
Yeah, basically.
All right. And something else that's pretty neat is obviously when the Age of Chaos ended and the Age of Sigmar began and the Stormcast came forth and started fucking shit up. The Order of Azyr actually spread pretty far because they basically have presence in all free cities, and they actually have a couple pretty large conclaves that aren't specifically in Azyr itself. Because the one that I came on that's I think is pretty well known is I think it's one that's in Droost, which is in Shimon. It's a pretty big one, and it's just cool because even if you don't know it, they're very much they're in all the realms damn near. Any realm that has free cities, they're gonna be there. You just might not always see them, but they're definitely there. So they're I think that could lead to some cool potential books on the line. Is just the witch hunters and what interacting in realms that might not have seen them very much. I'd love to see witch hunters in Hysh. That might not make any sense, but I'd love to see how that interaction would go.
If we saw witch hunters in Hysh, they would probably be hunting Skaven.
Most
which
likely,
I'm 120% okay with. Either that, or they're there to learn. They're there seeking knowledge would be the other big one.
Yeah, I believe Hysh is a fairly safe place other than, constant sunburn.
Or an angry Nagash trying to fuck your shit.
Yeah.
Just stay in the center. You'll be fine.
Stay in the city. It'll all be okay.
Yeah.
If you go too far, you might literally fall off the edge, Arcan. That's happened to him, right? He got pitched off the edge of Hish.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Was it Altharion who did that?
No. It wasn't Hish. It was of Shaiish.
He got pitched off the edge of Shaiish?
Yes,
What?
because I specifically remember that story about how a lot of the elves that were chasing him died because
They
of
died because they
the
couldn't
death
handle
magic.
the light. It was Hish.
I thought it couldn't be they couldn't handle the death magic.
I'm pretty sure it was Hish because it was the light of Hish that was like burning them.
Yeah, because
blinding them.
only oh shit, what's his name? The big bad elf who was
Feckless,
chasing him.
Tyrion,
Yeah.
Altharion.
I think it was Altharion.
I think it was Altharion because he's made of light and he fucking bitch slapped.
Yeah, and
Arcan
I
off
think
the
that was the
edge.
thing is that even Altharion was like, oh fuck, I should not be here very long.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But point being is I would also love to see. I don't think this would ever happen because there's not a whole lot of representation for it in Age of Sigmar currently. But I would love to see like witch hunters in Olgu, like dealing with shadow demons and shadow elves and yada yada. Like that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really really neat. But yeah, and there are ranks. If I remember correctly, there are ranks for witch hunters as well. It's not just like witch hunter and then like guild master because they have like provost generals and proctor generals and shit like that.
And that one I think kind of depends on exactly how ordered you are. Because like again, a vampire hunter who fucks off to Shaiish is probably just going to kind of answer to themselves and their close friends and allies, and that's really about it. Whereas in a free city that's very supportive of the order, you might see actual like schools that with classes where it's like, all right, sit down and learn. Today we're going to talk about how best to stab someone when they're a vampire.
Yeah.
So I think it's really going to depend on like the concentration of witch hunters and the support for the Order of Azyr in the local province.
Right, there actually has to be like a large enough presence to warrant there being like ranks and shit.
Yeah,
I do know a lot of the Order will fuck off for like weeks, months, years, and not be heard of because they're off doing their own thing. Like Malineth, for one, she fucked off with Gotrek, and she just kind of like sent letters periodically back to her conclave, and like that was basically it.
Mm-hmm.
So that does make the sense. Do we have anything else?
No, dude, surprisingly, we thought it was going to be a super short episode. We've been going at this for an hour now, and it's been non-stop information.
I think that's good. But this is this little short compared to our normal episodes, but I think that's really about it. We might put. I'm probably going to endeavor to put a reading list, either attach it to this episode or put it in Discord about like books and short stories that you can read that involve the Order if you want to read more into it. We're definitely going to have to read more into it. We're almost certainly going to revisit this. So to anyone who wanted to hear certain things about witch hunters and didn't get to hear that, don't at us.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's really cool. Lots of cool lore, really interesting people, and they have hella drip, definitely.
Oh yeah.
But
one important thing to note about the Order of Azyr is you don't just find them in Azyr or in the free cities. Because for instance, like I said, Boss, the vampire hunter that I was talking about, he's from Carstinia. Do y'all know where Carstinia is?
that's in Shaiish, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know who rules over Carstinia?
Probably Manfred von Karstein, because Karstinia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carstinia is the hold of Manfred von Karstein, the
He grew up
Mortarch
and
of
he was-
Night, and there have been multiple members of the Order of Azyr who have come from Carstinia.
There's a bunch of kids. They're like, man, fuck vampires.
The
Yeah,
Vendents
basically.
come from Gur. They specifically originate from Excelsius.
Yeah.
Or Excelsius. Excelsius?
So yeah,
No.
basically the
Yeah.
whole point is that vampire hunters can come from anywhere. There's multiple ways to join the Order of Azyr, and
They have mad drip.
They have mad drip.
They
and
have the maddest
their
of drip.
weapons. They will always be knowledgeable in what they're hunting, and their weapons will always be tailor made to be able to kill that.
Listen, if you have to pull one thing from this episode about weapons, is they get the tip and the shaft. That's all that I'm
Bro.
saying.
Bro, stop. No, one really cool thing about the sword that Voss used though was that if I remember correctly from the description of the book, his sword was not made entirely of blessed silver. It was actually only the core of it was blessed silver. So like and what I mean by that is only along the cutting edge was it actually silver. The outer casing was steel.
Huh.
But
Was
the-
there a reason for that?
I mean, steel
It's
is stronger
blessed
than
silver.
silver.
Yeah, it's stronger than silver, and like it's blessed silver. It's gonna be hard to get your hands on.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
So it makes sense that if he's from Carstinia, where I can bet, I would be willing to bet dollars to donuts that blessed silver is outlawed.
Yeah, fucking extinct in that area.
Yeah. So, but because of its presence in the blade, it made the entire blade blessed.
I could also see witch hunters potentially having like the whole Witcher vibe, where it's like one sword's for killing mortals, one sword's for killing monsters.
So that's actually what Vendenst Galen. That's actually exactly what he does. Is he carries a one-handed sword that's just steel, like
And
it's
a
a good
two-handed-
sword,
and
but
a
then he
two-handed
carries
sword.
a two-handed silver greatsword.
How did
that
I
is
not know this?
Entirely
I'm the
silver.
one that
Oh,
read that book.
You can see it on his back.
I mean, to be fair, I learned that because I was reading up witch hunters, because again, my whole thing was vampire hunters. So I know a lot about vampire hunters now. That's really cool. I know like nothing about witch hunters.
It's roughly the same
Well,
thing.
no, fucking Van Dance in the picture that Mitchell showed, he has 3 swords. He's
That one on his hip is not a sword. That's technically a
rapier. Or no, that's
no.
still
It's
sword.
a no. Stop. It's shit, Mitchell. It's the dueling dagger.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's actually you can't really see how thick it is. So theoretically, yes, that could be an arming sword, which is just it's basically a short sword, but it looks more like a dueling
Parrying
dagger.
dagger.
Yeah, parrying
Parrying
dagger.
dagger. All right. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
especially with how the hilt is curved up to catch blades. Yeah, that makes that.
Yeah,
makes
it
a lot of
looks
sense.
more like a classic parrying dagger. Honestly, it could also be just a really oversized. Oh no! What's smaller than a rapier? Epee. It could be an epee.
This is these are dueling daggers.
Yeah, so it could be a
It's
dueling
almost
dagger.
certainly a
Or
dueling dagger.
parrying dagger, yeah.
Yeah, parrying dagger.
Or-
Elm
yeah.
sword would know.
Oh yeah.
The other thing it could be, since that's not really a good angle on it, is it could be an epee,
How do you spell
which
that?
is EPEE. That's 3 E's in total, with a P after the first one.
Definitely.
Which epees are. That's I doubt it. That's more of a Renaissance weapon.
Yeah, it's also like literally the sword that they use for fencing.
Well, no, not entirely. There's multiple different kinds of fencing. So yeah, the issue is that what you're gonna find are foils for fencing. But classically, an epee was basically just a small rapier.
Okay, so I have to put epee dagger in order to
No,
get that.
Or put classic epee.
I'm noticing
Um,
right now, like kind of going back to what we were talking about with the kit and like the armor that witch hunters and vampire hunters use. What's the father's name again? The father daughter duo.
Galen.
Yeah, Galen.
Galen's the father, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's the daughter's name?
Some uppity little shit.
Okay, cool. Well, so like Galen very much
Doralia.
Aurelia.
Doralia.
Doralia. So Galen very much has like kind of like the centerpiece plate with like it's covering like up to his neck, and and whatnot. And he has like some armored greaves on his feet and whatnot, pauldrons and shit. But his daughter Doralia is like 100% kitted out in like full fucking plate.
Well,
Like her
for
leg
her
is like
chest is.
her leg is completely covered.
No,
No,
that's not.
That's leather.
That's leather tights with metal
is it?
spikes in them.
Why is it so
Yep.
fucking shiny?
Black leather.
Black leather.
Well, it looks fucking silver.
It does.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I'd be willing to bet that's not just like, oh yeah, this is like cowhide. No, I'd be willing to bet that's some kind of really special leather. But yeah, no, those are 120% leather tights.
That is hella shiny. But no, again, now that you said it, I can actually see it. For a second, I was like, damn, she is like fully fucking kitted out in plate. Like, good lord.
Actually,
That woman came to play. Like,
I
fuck.
think those are chaps.
Those might be.
I think those are chaps.
Look how they drape over the foot.
Yeah. And then look at you see the thing that I called spikes running along the back for leg? Those might be buckles, like buckle tags. Those might be chaps.
I want to make
that would actually make a lot of sense is like heavy leather chaps instead of plate, so it would make running easier and make her a little stealthier. That would make a lot of sense.
I want to make an assless chaps joke, but all chaps are assless, so I'm just gonna let it lie.
They are. Oh my god. Okay, no. So my coworker brought his own chaps in to work, and like chainsaw chaps, and his actually buckle around the cuff of his leg, and I was like, holy shit, that's bougie as hell. Where can I get that?
Philip over here about to be getting some spicy chaps.
Dude, okay, but like comfy chaps, that shit makes a difference. Like when you're sweating your ass off for 8 hours straight.
No, that's fair.
Comfy chaps make a difference.
Right. No,
I'm looking at her model. They look like chaps.
Yeah, that would not surprise me.
Oh, by the way, fun fact, her crossbow that she has there was her mother's, and that's the crossbow that she used to kill her mother that got turned into a vampire.
Dude,
oh, really?
fucking oof.
Metal. Straight metal.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh, that's terrifying.
What?
Just that fucking bolt that's running down the fucking crossbow. Like, fuck.
Oh yeah, no, that's not a normal ass crossbow. That is
that thing fucking hurts.
That is 120% a heavy crossbow. What makes it really interesting though is that if you look along the side of it, it looks like the charging mechanism for the handle is that the thing that looks almost like a bolt to a rifle. I'd be willing to bet that is some form of crank mechanism.
And they just cranks it up real quick.
Yeah, but it looks like it slides back and forth just inside of that small little area right there, which means that there's some kind of gearbox inside of there that allows her to get a lot of movement out of those small cranks. And that's really impressive because for a woman to be able to handle a crossbow that truly massive and powerful as I'm sure this crossbow is yeah, they would need mechanical assistance because even during the age of crossbows, men, like back in the medieval era, men would have to use on heavy crossbows, they'd have to use cranks. And even then, those cranks were incredibly difficult and cumbersome to use.
Also note that those crossbow arms, they're metal, they're not wood.
Yeah, I saw that. I clocked that, and that's
This lady right here, strong.
I'm assuming them being metal would add a lot of power to that fucking bolt.
It would also make it incredibly hard to
break.
No, it'd actually be fairly easy to break because whenever you have something under that much tension, any kind of jostling or rattling in the wrong direction could potentially cause the arms to snap apart on themselves. The reinforce that front section where the bolt sticks out, where it sticks out, that's probably almost solid metal in order to be able to handle the amount of torque and tension that is placed under. Yeah. Which means that crossbow is incredibly heavy up front, which is why I'd be willing to bet that wood is also some kind of specialty wood.
Or maybe also enchanted or something like that.
We could also be fair. This is Games Workshop, and it has been known before that they really do not know how weapons work.
Yeah, that's also incredibly fair.
Well, also, like if we were just being like literal with this, I feel like that crossbow is a little big compared to like modern crossbows.
Not correct. Really. That'd be comparable to like a heavy crossbow that you would see used more defensively. So it's not entirely realistic that she'd be carrying this around with her every day. but it's also not unrealistic that a crossbow of that size would exist.
That's not
Yeah.
a
You would just
crossbow. That's a
traditionally
mini ballista.
yeah, and that's what they would have been used for. Is they would have been traditionally kept more in
It would be wall
Keeps?
defense.
Maybe
yeah, they would have been kept in
castles,
keeps,
like mounted on walls.
not mounted on walls, but they wouldn't have traveled far from walls. They would have been used defensively.
It's pretty cool though. They look really good. Like just yeah,
Yeah.
they look really good. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once
Okay.
again, apologize about the episode being late. Just life and shit happened, and like it is what it is. We're sorry. So you know that. Please don't hurt us. I think at this point y'all can infer where we live. Please don't hurt us. Oh, I actually have a bit of a question. I'm interested in y'all's opinions on. What are y'all's opinion on the possibility of there ever being an actual Order of Azyr faction on tabletop?
So I do not think the possibility is there. I would like to see them as unaligned in the Order faction or the Order
kind of
Grand
like
Alliance of Order. Yeah.
Kind of like the Inquisition in 40k.
Yeah.
They have a handful of models, but they're not big enough to be an actual faction.
Yeah, because
well,
it was
technically
stated
you
that the
can-
Vendents actually worked with the Seraphon during the Siege of Excelsis, which is actually a completely other episode that I would entirely love to do. Is just the Siege of Excelsis.
You don't think
Okay.
that they could possibly do like a merger of like the Cult of Sigmar and the Order of Azyr, where like the troop choice would be like would be devoted to just like flagellants and shit, and have the name characters be the witch hunters?
I think
and
that
things
would
like
be an extension of Cities of Sigmar.
Okay, no, I'd be cool with that. I think that'd be super neat, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So real quick, I'm still looking at epes and things like that and fencing. I found this really funny thing about fencing. So the three major kinds of fencing that are popular right now are foil, epee, and saber. I found this really funny little fencing meme, I guess. I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole here, but it says foil, aim for the heart. Epee, aim for the heart. Saber, off with their heads.
I mean, yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
have you ever seen like historic saber fencing? Not like modern fencing, but actual like saber like sword fighting. That shit is wild and it looks dope as fuck because it's a whole bunch of like cross cuts. There's not much lunging and stabbing. It's a lot of like cross cuts and things like that, and it just looks dope.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other important announcement things or any
Nah.
tangents we want to go on?
Nah. Philip needs to go to bed.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. So hopefully not this weekend, but next weekend, because we're trying to get back on the 2-weekend schedule. Might be a little weird at first, but we're gonna be trying. And yeah.
It's not set in stone, but it's a goal of ours.
We are actively attempting to get back to 2 a month. Not 2 a week, but 2 a month. So like yeah, that it may be a little rocky at first because we're trying something new, but we are actively trying to get back to that. So yeah. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you beautiful people in 2 weeks, hopefully.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Oh, bye. Peace out.
Bye.
Will it actually stop?
We're not
Craig.
We're not gone
Craig,
yet.
do your job.
Craig won't let us go.
Greg.
It's like the Rosetta Stone.
Oh, I
of
did the wrong
recording.
command. Here we go.